And we are live at 9 o'clock. Hey everybody, Dr. Willie Jolley and
This is Dee Taylor Jolley.
And we're excited. Oh, would you get the copy of the book, sweetie pie? Under your bag. Oh, where?
No, that one has things.
Oh, okay. So she's going to get a copy of the book as we get ready to start. We're going to start at 9 o'clock. We're a little early, but that's a amazing feat for me because I'm typically
We're working at that.
right on time. Hey, anyway. My mom.
I had to get a sense of humor. Yes, dear.
My mom.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. It is 9 o'clock.
All right.
Hello, Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. Hello, how are you? I know you're joining us, and we're glad you're joining us from wherever you might be joining us around the world. I'm Dr. Willie Jolley,
And this is Dee Taylor Jolley.
and we're the authors of the book, Make Love,
Make money.
Make It Last, 10 Secrets for Shaping a Great Marriage. As many of you might know, we've been married for 33 years as of
June 28th.
June 28th. And we haven't had an argument in over 30 years.
Because he's always right.
Yeah, right. Or that she's always right. Yeah, right. But we haven't had an argument because those first 3 years, or first couple years, not 3 years, couple years, were pretty challenging. And we had arguments. And one argument almost broke up our marriage. But we learned some principles. We adopted some principles. And we had good mentors. And we listened. And we were able to establish some principles that worked and have worked for over 30 years. And we put them in the book. We want more happy marriages. That's why we have Happily Married Mondays. Free for you and anybody who wants to join in
So
and
let's
watch
jump
it.
right in.
Okay, but some people might not know who we are, where we came from. Okay, so I wanted to tell them that. And we're grateful that the book is really selling well. And I am so grateful for the people who are saying it helped their relationship exponentially and tremendously. That's why we wrote the book. So we want to talk about
Tonight's focus is support.
supporting your spouse.
And what does that look like?
What does that look like? That
They say we do it very well because we get to travel.
yeah.
I work with you every day, and then I travel with you, and then I sleep with you. That's like 24/7.
Yes.
That's a lot.
But you support me beyond the physical being around me. It is the support emotionally, physically, but also in terms of my dreams and goals.
I think I support you intellectually,
Okay, I go with that too.
Okay.
So when I was,
emotionally, and physically.
many
Okay,
know
let's
that
talk
I
about
was a nightclub singer who made my living for many years in nightclubs singing jingles. Then I got fired, replaced by a karaoke machine, and took a job with the DC public school system. And then after a year at the school system, in that year, I started giving speeches to little kids about staying away from drugs. And one day I came home and told her, I'm quitting my job. I'm going to become a full-time speaker.
I didn't know what that was. I didn't know
You
what
didn't
that
have
meant.
any idea what that meant.
I'm not sure he knew either. But
And we had 2 children in private
Private
school and very little savings, a mortgage. She was working on Capitol Hill, and it was not enough money for her to support our whole household. So that was a dramatic moment. But she said, I believe in you. You can do it. And believe it or not, folks, that made a world of difference. That made
I
a
took a
big
deep breath.
But you did. You said it. I don't know what you had to do to get there, but I don't know that. I can't tell you what you did to get there. I just know you got there. You told me you believe in me.
Okay, we're in the boat together.
So we're in this. And so I went to work, and 25, 26, 27, 28 years later, we are still in business. We've never missed a mortgage. We've had some real good years, and we've had great opportunities to travel around the world. So her support, I think, kind of paid off. But if she hadn't, I don't know if I'd be doing this. So
Well, it would be very rocky. So let's go back. We get questions on how do you support your spouse,
yes.
especially when
Well, let's
one
make
is
sure
out
people are
front.
clear, because sometimes they think that means you gotta, whatever your spouse does, you gotta say, okay, I'm in. I don't know if that's the case.
Mm.
you've got to support them, but also it's how you do it. I think that's pretty much.
I think the question that I get about how do you support your spouse, because I travel with you and I'm doing I sell the books, I do the administrative stuff, the contracts and a lot of things like that, negotiate the deals, and the question becomes, how do you do that? How do you support? That's what I'm talking about.
Let me ask you this
in
though.
terms of
I
support.
want to make sure we're clear on the definition, because what happens when you don't agree with something I want to do, and you are able to
Talk it out.
influence and share your thoughts in a way that's not demeaning or destructive or critical.
It's how we have a conversation.
So,
with each
case
other.
in point. Last week, we did not have a Happy Married Monday because we were at the National Speakers Association convention in Dallas, Texas. I was one of the board members many years ago, and I was up to be president of the association. Now, that would have been historic, being one of the, if not the first African American president, one of the first African American presidents. And I had been on the board for 3 years. I was up for president, and I wanted to go on to be president, and she said, no.
Well, you have to see the backstory.
Now, that's what I could have said, but I want to do this. But let's tell how you told me, no, I don't support that, and let me tell you why. And she gave me
I
a
said,
reason.
oh, I'm not sure that that's a good idea. And the backstory was that Willie traveled a lot. Then I was home with the kids. They were in school. And William, who's not athletic, was on the basketball team. And I went to everything. I was the den mom, all those things. And he said to me one evening, he says, Mom, Dad's never here to see me play. He was the bench warmer. So he might have gotten a minute or so on the court. He said, Dad has never seen me play. He's never here. And so I said, oh, okay. So he's traveling to put the food on the table. Maybe we need to look at some other options. So, and I know that the board position was important to him. So I said, we have to have a discussion. And the discussion was, you need to consider the fact that your son is saying he misses his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And
if I had become president, I would have been gone
even more.
Or even more. Much more.
So I did not say, you can't take it. I said, here's the backstory. Here's what's going on. And you have years to be with NSA, but you only have limited years with your son.
Yeah.
And that's the decision.
So
I painted the picture.
So she could have just gone to, no, you can't do that. I don't want you to do that. But she gave me reasoning. She gave me influencing. And that's what I want to say. When you don't agree with your spouse, which you're not always going to agree, but give a reason. Tell them your thinking. Why you're doing Reverend, I just don't like it all. But encouragement that, let's say they want to quit their job. And you and I feeling it.
Why you think the way you think.
And then y'all
in
can talk about it.
Situation.
And it was our discussion.
And it might not always be yes or no. It might be something in the middle.
Yep,
that
that's
you
correct.
do.
So I think that's a better, that we, it not just, I take it for blind, that we have a discussion about it, we talk it through, and then we influence each other consistently and continuously throughout the years of our marriage. We're constantly influencing each other to see each other's way.
So I think that's because we're friends.
That's right. So point 1 in the book, chapter number 1, friends first. Mm-hmm. Friends. How many of you got some friends who you've known for many years who are still friends? Do you ever not always agree on something, maybe on a perspective or a political perspective or something of the day? Does that make you stop being friends? No, you work through that. You've worked through that. You have a way of maybe showing the other person your perspective or talking it out and keep on moving on. Well, that's what we want you to do in your relationship.
You're friends, but you also respect each other.
Yep. That's right.
And so then it makes it easier to constantly communicate and to want to share your particular perspectives.
Right.
So let's get back now to...
I'm going to let you get over here and you tell that.
Okay.
Now, what is the point that
All right, so our focus tonight is on what are some ways that you can actually support your spouse. So we've got...
Them glasses are just taking up the whole... You get back over here. I mean, they blinding me.
So I can see the page. No. Let's be serious here. Come
All
on,
right,
we have a few
all right.
minutes.
Go ahead.
I never had a sense of humor, but he's so silly. I had to get a sense of humor to deal with him.
All right.
Okay. How do we support?
How do we support each
How
other?
can you be a supportive spouse?
So let me say one of the things you do as being a supportive spouse is with your physical presence. When that
You don't have to say it. You don't necessarily have to say anything, and you might not know what to say.
right.
But it's the ministry of presence.
Ministry of presence. For those who don't know what that means, we sometimes will go to a funeral where I'm not speaking. And I speak at a lot of funerals and give eulogies. Sometimes I've gone to funerals where I'm not speaking. I don't say a word. I go in and I give them a hug. It's called the ministry of presence. Just
It says you care.
you care. You're
You don't
being
have
there.
the answer, and so in the case of your presence being enough, when we were still dating and I lost my job and I was working for an association, I lost my job. There was a major snowstorm that same day, and as I was leaving this job downtown for this association, I called my best friend, and Willie was my best friend. I said, "Oh, I lost my job. I don't know what to do. Meet me at my apartment." He drove in the snow.
I was there. And we just walked to the grocery store.
We walked to the giant food store. I lived on Connecticut Avenue, and it just trudged through the snow actually, and just kind of talked. He couldn't say, "Oh, this is so terrible."
I couldn't say you're going to be all right or nothing. I just listened, and I was there. And I wasn't a motivational speaker there. I was a nightclub singer, so I couldn't motivate her to say, "Hey, woo-hoo, let me give you
That
some
would not have
strategies."
worked.
That wouldn't have worked anyway. I was just there, and
The presence was enough.
That's right. So we want to
said that somebody
encourage
cared,
you to
yes.
presence, to support your spouse physically in presence, and sometimes just being there. When our parents, both of our parents, died, or at least her dad,
No,
and
your
my mom.
brother,
My first it was my
your
mother,
mother,
then my brother, then your father.
the same day.
Same day, and we had to support each other through that. And I had to eulogize all three of them, and it was tough, but we supported each other. Now, part of that we've said before is she could have said, "Well, I got to deal with my father. I ain't got time to deal with you and your family. I got my own issues." But we didn't do that. We said, "We got it." We dealt with my mother's funeral, then we dealt with my brother's funeral, and then we dealt with my father-in-law's funeral. And so we supported each other, held each other up, and that was
Presence. What needs to be done? How can I be of help to you?
Right.
And it doesn't mean that you have to work in the business.
No.
Because much of the support, the questions that I get, is how do you do it?
Mhm.
Meaning in terms of working in the business. But the initial support is simply being that of one's presence.
Okay,
Or
let's
even
talk about
listening.
emotional or confidence support. Let me tell you something. Your spouse, male or female, needs confidence. They need to know you got them. And let me say this to gentlemen. Listen, gentlemen, we say this throughout the book. You must understand what women need. Women need desperately or critically or importantly is intimacy and security. Now, we say this throughout the book. We talk about it often. They need intimacy. We talk about that particularly in chapter 8 about the sex chapter. But we also talk about security. Women need to know you got them. Now, of course, men will say, "Well, don't my wife need to know she got me too?" Of course, but let's talk about what men need. They need sex
And respect.
and respect. They need to feel that they are the
King of the
king
castle.
of the castle. Okay, ladies, remember that men need respect. You've got to make them feel they are a man because it's critical. Now, let's go back to the security thing. Women need to know you got them. That said,
What does security look like to you?
and the
And
confidence.
that's what they need to supply.
Now, I'm going to tell you how she made me secure or confident and supported me. So, as I said, I was a nightclub singer, a jazz singer, and by the nature of jazz, we would improvisationally sing or have improvisation. And so...
And improvisational means?
That you make it up as you go, okay?
Okay.
You making it up. I mean, sometimes, hey, And then I come back with something else, and I be Sunday, da boom, button, button, thank you for whatever. And I go off on a tangent in the music, and it was good, and it was great. And that's how jazz is. You're just going somewhere. You're free flowing. You're just now. Then I become this speaker, and initially I spoke like I used to sing.
That was not good.
No, I'd be speaking on one path, one thought pattern, and then without any signal, no left hand signal, right hand signal, I change and go in another direction. And it might be a little, woo, what was he talking about? Where did he go? How did he get there? So she had to tell me that, and she had to do so
without destroying his ego, and certainly not in public.
And so she would say afterwards, now here's what the lesson is. She corrected me. She encouraged me by encouraging me. You did a great job tonight. You start off with something positive. You did a great job. Now let's figure out how we can make this even better. And she'd say...
And this is something that I noticed.
You noticed
and it's also the tone of voice.
Right. And she never did it in public. She did it in private. So first, she privately told me. She started positive.
Something positive.
And then added what we can do better. And she said, you were going this way on the speech, and then, yeah, I said, oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. So,
because we're in this together.
Right.
The better he is, the better we are, the more opportunities to make money.
Right.
We want to be able to make money because this is the business. So you have to be able to receive correction from your mate, and then it's how it is offered also.
Right.
In the spirit of support, in the spirit of love, and how you say what you need to say.
Right.
In a loving manner.
In a loving manner, with lots of love, lots of encouragement.
And then, so that means that sometimes you just need to stay quiet
until you
can figure out a pleasant way to say what needs to be said.
Right.
Okay?
It needs to be said, but you got to figure out when to say it, how to say it, and you know, I want to go back to that thought when we tell people having the difficult conversation, be friendly, be frank, be fair, be focused on a positive result. Sometimes people think being frank means just letting them have it between the eyes.
I think that's an excuse to be mean.
Well, but they just think the definition of the word frank, and so that's why we want to define it. Be friendly. Be friendly. That means you're never mean. You're never mean-spirited, and you're never hurtful. Be frank. Well, you know, she would say, okay, let me tell you, you were good. That was good, but I think you can be better. That was frank. And here's how you can be better by...
But Frank says, here's the situation as I see it. So here are the facts.
Well,
sometimes the facts is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah, but you painted the picture in a
Yes.
way that I could see it and understand, and you did not hurt my confidence.
Which is extremely
It was
important.
important when I'm getting up on the stage. This is new. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna make a living at this and support a family. So anyway, she did that. That had a positive impact. almost 28 years or so later, I'm still speaking and have won all the awards, best speaker in the world by Toastmasters and all the other stuff, because she supported me at the beginning. Now, people always ask. If you've heard me speak in an event, I always take a moment to talk about my bride. And I'll say, you know, we're newlyweds. And people will clap. Oh, that's so nice, y'all are newlyweds. Yeah, June 28th, we celebrated 33 years of marriage. And I say, now you wonder why I'm saying you're newlywed, because I still got the fire for her. Now, I say that it's a great line that tells the truth. It does a number of other things, though. It makes her secure.
Makes me feel good.
Okay, and it lets people know that I love my wife, and I'm grateful for my wife. And as I aimed at that little soliloquy, I was saying, and I told her one day, if you leave me, I'm coming with you. And so she understands, and people understand that we have a relationship that is beyond just being a married couple. Well, we've talked to married couples who've been married a long time who are not happily married.
They're not friends.
They're not friends.
Here we go again.
They stay together for the kids. They stay together for financial reasons. But we want you to be happily married. We want you to be joyful.
Like each other.
Enjoy each other. can't keep your hands off of each other. Talking and walking.
That's about
talking about that. What were the things you told me today?
You said you didn't like it.
I like 2 of the 3.
I said talk,
Uh-huh.
touch,
Uh-huh.
and tease. You said you didn't like the tease.
Tease, because see, I said we could say it on the video, because she meant tease by teasing me and okay.
Going back and squeezing him.
Yeah. Now, some people though, if we wrote that, they would say, well, tease in their brain is so and so teased me when I was a child, or my brother teased. No, we're not talking about that kind of thing. We're talking about the affectionate tease, the affectionate touch.
What about give him a kiss on the ear? How about that?
Yeah. So we want you to talk and touch and affectionately tease each other and say, I love you, I care for you. Talk to each other. Talk to you. Now,
that improves the communication
yes.
overall, because you want to lean in, you want to, what else is
and then touch.
possible?
Touch.
Yes.
We've told you over and over again,
We hold hands all the time.
Hold hands all the time. We're walking through the airport this week in Dallas, walking through airports, through malls, wherever we are, we hold hands. And it's not just the holding hands, you're holding hearts. An older couple told us that, and they were right. It does make a difference. So, talk, touch, and affectionately tease each other. And you know, brothers, I'm telling you, if you want to get action at night, you better start working on it in the morning.
Or maybe you want to get action in the afternoon.
Whatever. Start working on it early. Don't be coming up there talking about, you ready, you ready. That ain't the answer, fellas. That ain't the answer. You've got to cultivate the experience.
So
That's
you're
important.
providing, when you provide mutual support,
Yes.
you really want to be around each other when you're providing mutual support for
Yes.
each other. All right, so let's go back.
Oh,
So-
before we do that,
yes, sir.
so many of you have asked, when are y'all going to have a seminar? So if you want to be involved in a seminar, would you send us an email? Just send us an email at info@williejolly.com and say, I want to come to a seminar. We're going to try and put one together. If you have enough of you say we're serious about coming,
We're
spending.
looking at September? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
we're thinking about
Maybe?
maybe end of September. If that's of interest, send us an email so we will start getting some sort of feel for those who are interested in doing
So
that.
communication, evening with the Jollies or something
Yeah,
like that.
well, a day
Really
with the
good?
Jolleys. We're gonna spend a day. It's gonna be it won't be just a few hours, 2 hours. It's gonna be some time. We want to have time where we can do intervention. Now, let me say, we're not the marriage counselors. Let's make that, but we can at least give you some situations that we've been through that can help you by the lessons we've learned. So anyway, if that's interested, info@williejolly.com. And many of you missed out on the webinar we did. That's been a couple months now, but it was dynamic. And we encourage you to go to jollymarriage.com/webinar and just download that webinar, order that webinar, and it goes to the 10 steps as well as we answer questions. And finally, we do have, it's coming, and it's dynamite, the 2 CD, and we probably have a stream version as well.
Yes.
The live Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last live event at Grace Church. Probably one of the best seminars I have ever been involved in. It is just incredible. And as I told someone who heard it, said, that didn't come from us, it came through us. That was the Lord. I have to just, because we talked about so many issues that people said were profound, and it's funny, it's hilarious, it's uplifting, so we encourage you. Okay, so
I got my glasses on. Let's go back.
some crazy class. You know, she is a diva, that's the truth. I love her. Anyway, come a little closer because you're getting out of the screen. I gotta
Yes,
keep her.
sir.
I gotta work with her all the time about the screen, talking on the microphone. Go ahead. All right.
Okay, let's go back to ways that you can support your spouse.
Ways you support of
So
your
number
spouse.
one, what'd you say? We support with our presence.
Presence is the ministry of presence when we go to funerals or we go to difficult. It's the presence, being there for each other.
But for couples, we're not talking about going to a funeral.
No,
we're
we're saying just be there for
being
them.
supportive.
Be there through their
and
tough
to
moments.
listen.
And
If
listen.
you're in different careers, you might not. When I started with Willie, I really didn't understand what speaking was all about, and I worked on Capitol Hill. But I was supportive with my presence. I was supportive. They had fax machines back then. We didn't have a fax machine when he got started.
Right.
So I took what had to be faxed to the office and faxed it for him. that was a form of support.
Right. So support in physically. Then is support emotionally or in terms of confidence, security. Now, as I said, women need security. That's major, but men need it too. Women, you got to support the man. You got to make him feel respected. You got to make him feel important because he's got to be able to go out and say, I've gotten one
Well,
it takes.
she has to be able to do that.
Or whatever, because sometimes
So,
it's right. 'Cause
yeah.
we got house husbands sometimes, and that's fine too. But whatever it is, support each other emotionally. And when I started singing, I was a jazz singer. I'd go off on a tangent in my speaking, like I'd done in my singing. It don't work in the speaking like it did in the singing.
So you
She would
can
support
learn
me.
to correct
How did you do that? Let's go over
the
those.
tone of voice
Tone of
that I
voice.
use, and never to correct in public,
Never in public.
and never to correct to adversely affect your self-esteem.
Well, how do you do that? Because you gave it right there. You start with something good.
Start with something positive
Yep.
from the program, whatever it
is.
that
Start
it's a
positive. And then
here's something that I saw, or here's a fact, here's what happened, and here's how you could possibly do that better. That would benefit all of us.
improvement. Want to constantly
Yes.
improve, okay? Without saying you.
Mhm.
She could
So you're supporting with your presence. No.
She never
So you're
did that.
supporting with your presence. You are supporting with how you make recommendations as to how they can improve by your tone of voice and when you say what you need to say.
And then make your spouse feel important. Put them on a pedestal.
And how do you do that? That's simply by complimenting them in private as well as in public. There's got to be something good about them.
Yep.
Something that draw you.
You
to
look good.
them.
She'll come in and I'll say that dress looks wonderful.
That made you want to be around.
And I tell her when she comes, I notice everything about
He
her.
does. He's very
I
attentive.
said that's a new dress.
Yeah, and
or
I'll
new
say, no, I
blouse
haven't
or-"
worn this in 6 months.
I said, you
something
looking
like
good.
That. So,
You looking kind of good.
but
to
you
me.
always like it when somebody, when your spouse compliments you. So support through compliments
Yes.
too. And so you compliment and in private, but also
in public.
in public.
And I tell people,
my husband is this in a bag of chips, or that's very important.
he makes me laugh like our friends Terry and Bradley said the other night
Yes.
at dinner. And she said, he just makes me laugh. He's so witty. I mean, that's really good. But she says it in public. And those
And that's a compliment, and that's encouraging.
Yep. And then
We say laughter.
laughter. We laugh a lot. We laugh. My son comes in the room sometime in the night and says, y'all are always laughing and giggling in here. Y'all act like...
That's because he's funny.
And so well, you say some funny stuff too now that you did.
He's weird, but I had to. He's weird.
Thank you, sweetie.
So I just had to make it okay. He's funny. Otherwise, he'd just be weird, and I'd be upset all the time. So I had to get a sense of humor.
And that's
you can't get one.
Yeah, you
I
can, because
really
she was an
can't.
introvert. She did not have
I am an introvert still.
Oh, she still is an introvert.
But I was an introvert and a preacher's kid, and I only knew hell and damnation.
That's
So
right.
there
So
you
our
go.
time is about up. We got 3 minutes left.
Okay.
So, folks, hope y'all enjoyed these Mondays. Please do a couple favors.
So ways to support your spouse.
Yeah. Well, we've been through it. I want to tell them what to do. I want them to tell friends about this. This is free. So I can't guarantee it's every Monday night. Here's what we guarantee. If you're on our newsletter, then you will be able to get updates on the Mondays that we will be able to do it with.
Oh, and
instead.
and Facebook, is that what?
Well, whatever, Cheryl, you're on my social media, you'll get updates. So follow us on Facebook, willie.jolly, on jollymarriage.com, williejolly.com. Sign up for our newsletter, and you'll get updates on when we are going to have it. Go to our podcast, listen to our podcast on this marriage that we did on my XM show. And then also share this. Share it. Subscribe to it. Right on the Facebook, subscribe so you'll get a notification when we're coming on live.
Or
And
visit jollymarriage.com also for videos, interviews, and things like that.
yeah, we're going to
we
be putting more and more.
So we'll have more.
And the webinar, jollymarriage.com/webinar, order that. And order the pre-order of the audio 2 CDs. I highly recommend that. That's going to bless you. Well, I think our time is just about up.
We got Jolly
So
on.
we hope you had a great week. Since we last seen you 2 weeks, we'll see you hopefully next week. We are planning to be around next week.
We're going to be around next week.
And then we go on vacation. We will not be on the first week.
I think we should do something while at the beach. in the Outer
Nah,
Banks.
I'm gonna be asleep.
In the sand.
Maybe we'll see.
That'll
Okay.
be different.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Jolly out.
Jolly out. Love y'all. God bless y'all. And we just thank you. Hey, that's my friend Kim Yancey.
Aw.
Love you, Kim Yancey,
So
man.
nice.
Hey, he sent me a text, man. He and Sandra with E-Women Network. Thank you, man, for your
Very
support.
successful.
Very
Yes.
successful. I still want y'all on my XM show, man. Anyway, hey, folks, our time is up. Thank you for yours. Remember, we want you to have a happy marriage. Go to jollymarriage.com. Get both of you a copy of the book. Do it today and get the other resources. We want to save 1 million marriages and enhance 1 million more. We out. Jolly out.